All right, y'all. What's up? What's up?
Well, hello.
This one's not an extended one. This is very short. We're getting right to the point on this one.
Let's get to it. Let's get to
grab
it.
off the jump.
This whole thing is a smash and grab.
Hey, before this is gonna be a snatch and grab, I just want to say one thing before we start. Please hit the like, the subscribe, and hit the bell. Hit that bell.
We're doing a lot of growing. I'm proud of us.
Because I want y'all to be a part of everything that comes out with us. You know what I mean?
But there's
So
still
be
a few
part.
of you out there not pushing the subscribe, and I see you.
Yeah,
Come for you.
I'm telling you, if you are on our Instagram or anything like that, you're not subscribed, and I catch you out in the streets, you're gonna have a problem.
Murder, she wrote. Murder, she wrote.
How you guys feeling? What you guys listening to on the way over here?
The same shit I was listening to.
Same shit I'm always listening to.
10 minutes ago. Only took one ride.
Let's just keep it short. Let's just keep it short.
All right, fine.
What exactly?
So today's
What we
topic.
here today for?
Today's topic, I know a lot of people are gonna look at us and say, "Oh man, it's March or it's April now. Why are you guys discussing this?" And I think that's the reason we're discussing.
Because Black history never stops, baby. That's never stop. Go ahead. Talk your shit.
Right? This is the best time to do it. So facts in Black history. Look at Black history. Why is there a separation of Black history from American history? So I'll go to you first, Shabika. Question of the day, is Black history American history? And why is there a separation? And should there be?
Yeah, I think that our identity is so tied to education in general. Like we shouldn't expect people to foster and support us because it's self-identity. How you identify yourself is the reason that the way the classroom is run is based on just telling facts. But what we ask for as Black people especially is tell us all the good stuff about us as Black people to make us feel better and not just as slaves. And I understand that. But nothing about the school system is your responsibility. Everything about your kid's education is your responsibility, and it's not on the school system. They're not going to teach you all the things you need to know about how to live your life. They're speaking in generalities, and I don't think that there's a huge need for such specificity when it comes to Black versus white. But it should be, I hear about Black people because Black people were here.
That fits the narrative of your outfit too. I like it. Black and white. Did you do that on purpose?
In this case, it's mostly white.
A little bit of a black. Yeah, exactly. Look at this America personified.
Mostly white and a hint of black. And a hint of black. Stu.
One streak of blackness.
Stu, what do you got? I'll go straight down the line on this. Stu, what do you got? What do you say right here?
Well, for me personally, I worked
like
in
I'm
the
too far.
educational system. So for me personally, it's just a matter of who's creating these books and these stories, not history books for these kids. So you're catering to a specific demographic when you make these books, and you implement them into the schools as a curriculum for them to learn. So we don't have the people in place as of right now that's be able to specifically say, yo, African American culture was a part of this. And this goes back from years. So you, in the textbooks, there was no real recognition for us. So now we're becoming more aware of what's going on, and we starting to have more thought because this is freedom allowed us to think that way because we don't have that same mentality that we once had, and just being happy to be here and be in the schools and be integrated and be able to learn because at one point you couldn't go to certain colleges because you were Black. So now you have this thing now that's coming into fruition. African Americans are starting now to wanting to know and understanding the value that they had in American history. So it's going to come. This is going to come a day.
Mike and the Funk Boys, what you got here on this?
Ask me the question one more time, sir.
Why is there a separation of Black history from American history, and is Black history actually American history?
Black history is definitely American history. American history includes Black history, includes all history. But I think having Black history as a month is kind of a backhanded compliment. Black History Month in full came about in the 70s. One of the presidents, I think, I'm not going to misquote and say exactly which president, but Black History Month started as Black History Week and it was started by a doctor who was the child of former slaves. So with his intention, it was kind of to educate everybody beyond slavery that Black history did not just start with slavery, or did not start with the ending of slavery. And there's been plenty of accomplishments that have made their way through Black hands, Black inventors, Black folks in general that were never credited. Like the gentleman named something Nearest that taught Jack Daniels how to make whiskey.
Uncle Nearest.
Uncle Nearest, he has his own whiskey at this
1954.
point. But it came about many years later after his initial findings were stolen by white folks and propagated by white folks. So having Black history and having the opportunity to teach and educate Black youth and Black people as a whole on their history that normally would have been overlooked, I think that it serves its purpose, but to include it as only 1 month, I think it takes away from the year-long progression of Black people, because you're segregating and you're making it a specific time frame. And if I can quote Morgan Freeman, he asked, when is White History Month? There is no White History Month because it's not limited. So if you limit folks to a specific time or a specific day or a week or a month, then it's going to get lost in the overall aspect of history, the overall aspect of American history, because we're singling it out.
Mm-hmm. And you?
Oh, I like what people ask me. I like it. You know what I'm saying?
And you?
Ping pong. Why is there a separation of Black history from American history? So to answer that question, why, and this is just my perspective, I think it's to satisfy Black people from, I guess, what America sees as something that we were wronged for so long. And I think it's like an apology kind of thing.
Pacify it?
To pacify, like it's almost a pacify to say, you got your shit, we talked about you guys, let it go. But I think that contributes to the problem we have today in American society, where it becomes an us and them, where even Black people feel that there's a different America for us. When you do stuff like that, when you propagate it or you make it seem as if it's a spectacle, I think we then start to refer to things like, we try to look like Rosa Parks and Harriet Tubman. Those things should be taught into American history. I feel the same way you talk about Christopher Columbus when we were growing up and we're talking about those type of things. I think it should just be integrated into those type of situations, because once you have that, I think once the story is fluid, and it goes from beginning, no matter how ugly the truths are, from beginning to end, I think we all can handle it at this point, and we can understand, and we could take what we want from it. But I think it pacifies us when you go, you got a month, now shut the fuck up in March.
And I think that's a valid point, is that it's a month of accomplishments, right? And it's a month of feel-good things, but it's not a complete history, because again, if you look at the downfalls and the pitfalls that we went through as Black folks, they're not going to propagate that. They're not going to show you all of the shit that we went through to get to this point of reclamation, or this point of recognition, I'll say, because you're not including the history in full. You're including the better parts of the story and not really filling us in on how we got to this point, or why we even need to be credited with a month. Is because for hundreds of, not thousands of years, you robbed us from that. You robbed us of those things.
What do you guys do?
I was going to say that it just comes down to the point of accountability. I don't think white people want to hear how bad they were. So when you have these textbooks and they tell the stories, they don't want to tell them how savagery they were as a race. What they did to the Native Americans. Because, we celebrate.
But why? Why?
But
isn't that the culture of the world?
But listen, it's the culture. But you know what? The worst thing people want to do is looked at in a negative tone.
They don't
want that.
But
They don't want to take that fall. Because like if we sit here, we celebrate Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was a massacre. If you think about it.
Yes. Don't bring that up. I like it.
But do you think that we actually make other cultures feel better with history?
No, we may get. I
don't think we should be making anybody feel good.
But we
that's what I was saying about our identity. What we identify as is so tied to our self-esteem. Like the absence of our history in schools somehow
matters.
makes you feel less than.
It matters because kids don't know where they come from. If you don't know where you come from and who you are, your original people are from, then that makes you, when you go up into society, how do you have knowledge of self?
I would say that. I would say that's a big.
But
for
knowledge
actual,
itself has to come later. Anybody?
But you-
I would say that's. I would say that's
If you
big
don't
for
know
like
you
actual African Americans. I mean, not to from my experience. Let me be clear. I feel like a lot of West Indian people do have, because they could go back home, or people of different cultures, they could have those things like Puerto Rican Dominicans.
Because they're not
even though
far-
they
they're
do
not-
have their own atrocities and their own things. I feel like they do have that culture they can hang on to, but like a lot of born Black American
don't have
people,
it.
it's hard to pinpoint what your culture is sometimes.
There you go.
And we cling. That's why we cling on maybe to
It's
hip hop
not.
or urban.
It is hard.
'Cause it-
Because
it-
if you don't know,
that's why that's why hip hop and stuff like that to me is so big for us, because it's ours.
Yeah, it establishes a point of reference for.
Yeah, the baggy clothes, the jewelry, the
But you said it would be hard for us to do that. I said it's not that hard. to do.
No, it
it's
is-
not hard, but you know what it is? What makes it hard is because who's going to implement it? Where are we going to get these textbooks from? Is the schools going to sit out there and go get these textbooks?
No, he just was saying that it was hard for us to identify what Black culture is. And it's not hard.
no,
It's-
maybe not for you, but I think like sometimes that's why we
These
have
kids
the
don't-
month.
they don't know.
And then listen, let me
don't
ask this, smash and grab this, because this is a short, guys. We can't get too crazy. Is February a spectacle or carved out month of respect?
It's a carved out month of respect. It's a carved out month of, yeah, it's a carved out month of respect.
What you guys do?
Say it again. Say that question.
Is February a spectacle or carved out month of respect?
I feel like it's a spectacle. I don't think that if we shouldn't have just a month. We should have, it should be implemented as 50, it should be across the board 50-50 because we pay,
But you,
I'm just saying, me
It's for him.
personally,
It's for him, bro.
I'm just saying
Let
for
him
me
be.
personally,
I'm not trying to steal away from him. I'm just
stole it.
asking, do you feel like we boost up white people? Is
We
what I'm
do.
saying. We do?
We
How
do.
we do
I
that?
worked in the education system. Our culture and our history is not implemented like that. And I'm just being honest with you. You may get a day, you may get Booker T. Washington. You may learn about XYZ, Malcolm X, or you may work about Martin Luther King. But then that's it. What else you get?
I bet you couldn't name that many white people.
But listen, it's not. Because the only reason why I can name him because I was taught them. Now, if he was taught me more of my history, then I would name more on black
So then
people,
you
right?
only know half of your history.
No, I know my history, but I'm just saying, you put me on the spot. Now, if
I
you
know, I
actually-
did it on
all right,
purpose.
I know.
I'm
So
just
that's the only
saying.
reason why
I'm just saying.
That was
I'm
kind
just-
of foul.
that was
saying.
You saw a
White
corner.
outfit on.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I worked in the school system, and when you work in the school system, you see what they're pushing, and they're not pushing so much for us and our
But nobody
culture.
should be pushing the part where we make you feel better.
Mike, is
should know.
February a
That's why I
spectacle
said
or
it's a
carved out
spectacle.
month of respect?
Because it's intended to be a carved out month of respect, it's a spectacle. It's a spectacle because it ends.
Yeah.
It ends. As soon as it ends on February 28th, we go right into Women's History Month, and all of that is neglected. All of that is, again, it's put in a box and it's boxed up until next year. That's why us talking about it in March, potentially viewing it in April, is kind of going against the norm, because the norm is to put you in that box, put you in that corner, and bring your ass out for 28 days every year.
But what about Women's Month?
It's not wrong, but you got black women that's in Women's Month.
I'm just saying, but what about Women's Month? Is Women's Month invalidated because it's only a month?
I think they have a different type of struggle too, because remember they couldn't vote and a whole bunch of other stuff
Yeah,
went
you're
along with
right.
them.
So wait. So you
absolutely
think
right.
Women's Month is more valuable than
I'm not.
than
You,
Black
those are
History
words you
Month?
use. No, what I'm saying is.
I'm just saying. He Mike said it. Mike
before you
said
misquote,
it.
no, before I'm gonna stop you
Mike
before you say
said
anything
it.
further. Before you misquote me, what I'm saying is people who deal with atrocities sometimes get made a spectacle of. So in the same vein, when you say Women's Month, it's like women give birth every day. Women contribute to society every day. We should be celebrating them every day as equal as we celebrate men. So it should not be a spectacle like it's Women's Month. Shut the fuck up in May.
Yeah.
So that's why it's become a
That make you
spectacle.
feel better
Because
now?
it's carved out, I like the way this is written. Because it's carved out to be respectful, like, I'm going to pay so much attention to you tomorrow. So just tomorrow you're going to pay attention to me until the next day I got to fend for myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it a spectacle. I agree with Mike on that.
Yeah, imagine a woman created
not-
something completely new that changed the world in June, and we went back to him and was like, yeah, you already had your month in March. Like, chill out.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear that old Malcolm X. And,
So
Martin.
you guys are just against Ann Arbor Day?
It's not Ann Arbor Day, bro.
I don't know. And Harbor Day?
No, the
it's
thing
just
is,
Arbor Day,
no, if
which
you're
is a
having,
fucking
if you're
tree.
having,
Antoine Barber Day? Y'all against Antoine Barber Day?
no, because if you have like Martin Luther King, right, you're celebrating his birthday or something like that. I'm okay with that. My thing is when you have a month where you just say, "Oh, we're gonna pick this calendar up," and we start making a spectacle of when I have to pay special attention to something when you contributed to doing it. Because again, nobody has. There's not
sale.
Hispanic month. There's not White History Month.
Yes, it is.
It's just a
Hispanic month.
sale.
When? What?
I
They got-
forgot. I'm not Hispanic.
Don't
so I
make it
can't-
up.
I'm
Don't make it up. Don't make it up.
We're not talking about the World Series right now because it is not time for the World Series. So we're not going to be talking about any kind of black historical achievement unless it's in February.
That's
and that's
not
always
true.
The case. That's why we have a month.
It always becomes a spectacle.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like you said, it should be.
That's
taught-
like that feels to me like you're saying whenever someone carves out a month for anything, then that month that month in it of itself is a spectacle.
Just like you put Stuart on the spot, I put you on the spot. What other month in the year is carved out for anything besides this women's
You
month? that
just said
found out?
women's
No, I said
month.
besides the women's month that we just acknowledged. What is January for?
Are you mad about its popularity or the fact that it's
it's just-
called
No. No, the same thing I did
trying
to
to get
Stuart.
out of
There
it.
you go.
Don't get out of it.
What is September?
All right, no, I got one better for
No,
you.
no,
March
no.
17th, St. Patrick's Day. Spectacle, or are we really honoring St. Patrick?
No, St. Patrick's Day is the thing. I like to drink on that day.
See?
No,
So
don't
why
get
you
that
got-
far.
It's a spectacle.
Don't get that far from it. What is September?
Why am I supposed
All
to
right, what is December?
I don't know, an Aquarius.
No, but my point is there's no other culture.
I don't know. I don't
all the
know.
way wrong.
I don't know, but why does that matter?
It does matter because at some point,
Why wouldn't we turn the light on Black history? It's even up for discussion. Just move on if you don't care about it, like women's history. Just like September and every other month. Just don't care. Just move on with your life.
Hey,
but for
lady.
those of you who do care, for the women who goes, it's time to do pink. Let them do pink in their month. And who cares?
okay.
October.
Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna take your advice and I'm gonna move on. Who do you admire from Black history? Drop the bomb on your shit.
Me?
Yeah.
Bernie Mac.
Okay.
Black history.
What do you feel like he done for the Black culture?
I think Bernie Mac's passing is not like a death of an era, but there was a man that was the image of a man. And I do think that since him, and he was one who got his nails done, he's well known to have gotten his nails done, but I feel like manhood changed, that angry man.
Masculinity.
There'd be some furniture moving around this mug, like just that kind of problematic, like that rough and tough guy, the rumble tumble, I'll do it to you guy. At the same time, you got like Tim Allen and stuff like that. That was two-time. But then we talking about something totally different now but I feel like him as an end of an era, that would be like someone from Black history who I revere.
Smash and grab Stu. Who do you admire from Black history?
I would say Michelle Obama. The reason why she didn't have a blueprint stepping into that stage where she became the first lady of the United States of America. So for me personally, and not only that, like in listening to her interviews when she did a book, her memoirs and stuff like that, I can understand how her being so-called, not saying so-called, but being the smarter one out of the couple and still having to take a step back because her man platform is going to elevate and take an understanding like, you know what? Let me be the supporting cast member to him. And I feel like, for me personally,
And you got to see it too. So
yeah,
it's not
you
like
got to see it,
backstage,
and that was a great thing for me. So that's why I say for her, and then and not only just being the first lady, doing it with style, and making sure her presence is still known, but not saying, "Hey, look at me, I'm doing it genuinely. I care about the kids' food and what they eating and things like that, and I'm just gonna bring my swag and my style to this, and still let him be who he is." So I think for me personally, I thank her.
Mike, smash and grab. You got smash and grabs. Y'all make love when y'all smash and grabs.
Yeah, you know, I
Listen.
don't smash nothing quick.
All right. Who do you admire from Black history? Yourself?
Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, the original Black Panther Party. I'll include Eldridge Cleaver in there too. But they really brought attention to disparities in communities, and it didn't necessarily have to be a black community. It was born on the back of civil rights, where black people were finally afforded the opportunity to integrate into a system, but with so much brushback from the white populace, they were facing disparities in their communities. So they created organizations that actually supported the black neighborhood. They had the 10-point programs for social programs, free breakfasts for children, full employment programs, educational programs, health clinics. They went out of their way to actually create something for not just their area, but for an extended area for black culture across the Americas, all the way to the UK, even North Africa. And the message was clear that we're not gonna sit back and let people dictate to us how we move forward as a people. We're gonna pick ourselves up by the bootstraps, even if that means taking up arms physically, to make sure that we're getting a recognition of all Americans and not just what you think Black America should have. Power to the people.
But on my brother.
That's right.
I'm black,
And they
y'all.
wouldn't appreciate your Klansman tracksuit. So I'm just gonna say that.
He said,
I can't see a goddamn thing in this man.
Clayton
Okay,
basically
my
tracksuit
wife
on.
took her time out. That was a great movie too. Django Unchained. My wife took her time out to
Black history, bruh.
Black History. Who do I admire from Black History and why? Listen, I'm a repeat offender with this one. I'm gonna say Malcolm X, and the reason I say Malcolm X is I think he was the epitome of black growth. Like him being a criminal, him being a racist, him then changing into the evolution of realizing where we need to go as a society and where we need to go as a people.
He was a pimp.
I think that was a true
evolution.
evolution you got to see of what Black America really looked like. I think that like him being at the bottom of whatever and watching his growth. Again, I watched it from the internet, or watched it in school. But
What
like
movies?
you said, I like the fact that you used Michelle Obama with us being able to see that live. Bernie Mac as well. And I think me and you have a similar, like
Bernie
watching
Mac
it
is
and admiring
past, right?
from. We got to watch it though. We got to watch that growing up, and I think the only thing, the difference is what me and his decision was something that we watched in history that we admired from far. I wish that we could have been able to see the evolution of those people live. I don't know how we would have taken it, but I wish we could have seen that. But you guys all brought up great examples.
I'd have been locked up.
And
No, you wouldn't.
and
Shit, as a
you done went to work like me.
and
Come on, Mike. We got
lock
things
your
to
black
do.
ass up
And the
anyway.
importance of this episode, again, like Mike had on it earlier, and you guys touched on it, is to say Black history is American history.
Damn sure is.
The fact that
Yeah.
we keep having this conversation in the first place causes segregation and within itself. You know what I mean? And you be wearing this Klansman outfit. That's
All you need
Clayton.
is a white hood.
I think the glasses. I'm still going with the glasses as a Boston Georgia look. I feel like it's a cocaine. I feel like you're gonna put a
Nah,
line
he's
out.
smooth though. He's
Cocaine
smooth. Got
80s.
the fresh
Yeah.
braids.
I like it. It's like it's a cocaine
Yeah.
thing though. I feel like cocaine is gonna come out.